Hello dear children, hope you all are fine. Welcome to today's class. So, before moving on to today's class, I just want to tell you something about our COVID protocols. You are all familiar with this COVID protocols. You have to wash your hands frequently, wear your mask whenever you are going out, keep personal hygiene, keep physical distancing. Okay, so stay safe, stay healthy. Try not to go out in this COVID situation, and if it is very necessary, you have to wear a mask, wash your hands frequently. Also, keep physical distancing. Stay healthy, stay happy. So we can move on to our Swamiji's quotes. Okay, it is given here. Be like a flower, give happiness and fragrance to all. You have to be like a flower. Whenever we see a flower, we will be very happy, isn't it? Yes, our mind will be cool like that way. Be like a flower who gives full happiness and love to others. Okay, so let's move to our class. We can just revise what we learned in our previous class. We learned the chapter Gopal and the Hilsa fish. The main character of the story was Gopal, and it was a comic story. It contains both images and also the dialogues, isn't it? So it is very interesting story. Gopal is a person who is very clever. Then the story is about Hilsa fish, and everyone in that place is talking about Hilsa fish, the fishmongers, the neighbors, even in the palace also the courtier is telling about Hilsa fish. And this reached in the ears of our king, and our king became angry. And when the king became angry, the courtier is telling that even Gopal can't make anyone stop talking from this Hilsa fish. So our Gopal now decides to do so, isn't it? So the king also challenges him. Gopal accepts a challenge. Here the story begins actually. So when after a few days, when he reaches home, he is going out, he is planning to go out to buy Hilsa fish. So he is dressing in a different manner. His face is half shaven. He is smearing ash in his face. So by seeing this, his wife asks him, "What are you doing?" So this man, this Gopal is telling, "I am dressing up. I am getting ready in order to go out to buy Hilsa fish." By looking at his appearance, he is also wearing disgraceful rags, isn't it? Yes. By looking his appearance, by watching the Gopal's appearance, what happens? This wife, Gopal's wife, thinks that Gopal is mad. Okay. Is he mad actually? No, he is not mad. Then what happens? He goes out, he buys a Hilsa fish, and he is now going on to the palace. On the way back to palace, what happens? Everyone standing in the street is telling about Gopal instead of Hilsa fish. Everyone is telling about Gopal's face, Gopal's dress. Someone is telling that Gopal is mad. Others is telling that he is mystic, isn't it? Thus, he reaches the palace, and the men standing in front of the palace are not allowing him to get inside the palace. Okay, so this Gopal began to dance and sing in front of the palace. So this is where we stopped. Hope you understood up to that. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, so take your textbook everyone. Okay, so take page number 40. Inside the palace. So something is going to happen inside the palace. We can see what happens. Inside the palace, the man is crazy. Throw him out at once. I want to see the king. Let me in. So our king is hearing this kinds of sound. The man is crazy. Or the person standing in front of the gate is telling, the man is crazy. Throw him out at once. The another person is telling, throw him out at once. So this man, someone, the king is not aware who came there. So this king is listening. I want to see the king. Let me in. I am here to see the king. So I want to see him. Let me in. Let me come in to see the king. Bring that man to me at once. Yes, your majesty. So our king heard this sound and king is telling, bring that man at once. Who is making noise here? Tell him to come inside to meet me. Gopal was brought before the king. Thus our Gopal came before the king. It's Gopal. Our courtier is telling, that's Gopal. The man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his lazy jokes. The man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. So this courtier is telling, this man has become mad. But the person standing next to him is telling, no, I think it's his crazy joke. He is very clever. Page number 41. Alright. Now our king is telling, alright Gopal, out with it. Why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion? What a ridiculous fashion is this? How dare you to come inside my palace like this by wearing this graceful dress? So, you are not supposed to stand here. Isn't it? Our king is telling, why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion? So, now Gopal replies, Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. Dear Lord, I think you've forgotten something. You have forgotten something. Forgotten something? Did I forget something? Did I forget something? Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa fish. So now our Gopal is coming to the matter. You all said that everyone is telling about Hilsa fish. But strangely, I think, Gopal is telling, I think no one seemed interested in Hilsa fish. Even one person. No one talked about Hilsa fish. Not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa fish. Even a soul, not even a soul spoke about Hilsa fish. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. At that time, when Gopal said these words, our king remembers that he challenged Gopal the previous day. So only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Ha ha, well, Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible once again. So once again, you have achieved impossible. That means this is not the first time that he is winning. Yes, once again, he has achieved the impossible. Congratulations. So our king is congratulating Gopal. So here our story ends. Hope you all understood. Yes, once again moving to the summary. Here our story is a comic story with lot of images and also with the descriptions and also dialogues. Here the main character of our story is Gopal. Also Hilsa fish, king, courtier, Gopal's wife are all there. Then the story begins about Hilsa fish. Isn't it? Yes, everyone is talking about Hilsa fish, the neighbor, the fishmonger, even in the palace also. The courtier is telling about Hilsa fish and our king heard this and king became angry. Are you a courtier or are you a fishmonger for telling about Hilsa fish? So our courtier said, forgive my majesty. Everyone is here talking about Hilsa fish. Gopal, even Gopal can't make others stop talking about Hilsa fish. So Gopal heard this. Our king and the courtier challenged the Gopal. Isn't it? Yes. So Gopal accepts the challenge. After a few days, he is getting ready. He is dressing up to go out to buy Hilsa fish. He is half shaven. Then, yes, he wears disgraceful rags. He smears ash in his face. So by seeing this, his wife asks, why are you going like this? What happened to you? Then our Gopal replied, I am dressing up to go out to buy Hilsa fish. So wife thinks, what happened to him? Is he mad? Then he goes out, he buys Hilsa fish. Then he is on the way to palace. No one, not even a single soul, had spoken a word about Hilsa fish. Everyone was speaking about Gopal's appearance. Isn't it? Somebody said he is mad. Some others said he is crazy. Some others said he is mystic. Isn't it? So when he reaches the palace, even the people standing in front of the gate of the palace couldn't recognize him, and they are not making him, and they are not allowing him to enter the palace to see the king. So our Gopal began to dance and make noise, sing loudly. So by hearing the noise, king calls Gopal inside, and when the king saw Gopal, what happened? Our king is asking, why are you like this? Why are you wearing this disgraceful rags? Why you are wearing this kinds of dress? What a ridiculous fashion is this? Our king is asking. So then what happened? Gopal is telling, not even a single soul had talked about Hilsa fish. Everyone forgot about Hilsa fish. Everyone forgot about Hilsa fish. Isn't it? Thus our king remembers that he had challenged Gopal, and he congratulates our Gopal for making impossible possible once again. Okay, so that's the story. Did you understand the story? Yes. So read the text thoroughly. Once again I will read this.
Inside the palace, the man is crazy. Throw him out at once. I want to see the king. Let me in. Bring that man to me at once. Yes, your majesty. Gopal was brought before the king. It's Gopal. The man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. All right, Gopal, out with it. Why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion? Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. Forgotten something? Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa fish. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Ha ha, well, Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible once again.
Then we can see the new words of this chapter. There are only 7 new words for you. First one, fishmongers. Fishmongers means a person who sell fish. The people who sell fish, that is fisherman, is known as fishmonger. Second one, courtier. Courtier is a person in the palace who gives advice to the king, queen, or others in the palace. Third one, downcast. Downcast means to look down. Fourth one, guilty. Guilty means to feel sorry or to feel sad. Fifth one, disgraceful, bad or untidy. Sixth one, comical. That you all know, comical means something that implies some comedy. Seventh one, mystic, that is spiritual. Once again reading the words, fishmongers, courtier, downcast, guilty, disgraceful, comical and mystic. So hope you all understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Notes will be given. So winding up today's class. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Meet you in the next class.